I never actually talked about this, but my parents always wanted me to prepare for UPSC.
सबसे बड़ी परीक्षा
UPSC.
And now as I'm going to graduate after this semester, the pressure on me to choose a potential career path has increased a lot. So much that I only think about that at every point of my day. So these are the career options that I got right now. First one, taking up the job that I got through campus placements. Second one, leaving the job and entirely focusing on my online career. And the third one, leaving everything and going for UPSC preparation. So what do you think I'm gonna do? Do you actually think that I'll leave everything for preparing for UPSC? So this video is going to be an open letter for me, for my dad, and for all of you. While I try to convince myself to leave everything and go for UPSC preparation, I'll also give you all the context and reasoning. So when you take your life decision, this is going to be super useful for you. So here we go. The first thing that we have to talk about is the statistics. And it's kind of crazy if you actually see the numbers. In the year 2008, the number of students who actually applied for UPSC were 3,20,000 students. And number of students who selected were 730, like approximately 730 number. But then in the year 2021, more than 10 lakh students applied for the exam. And the number of students who actually were selected were almost same, it's like 760. So it's like the competition has increased by 3 times in like last 12 years. So now if you consider the same growth rate in the number of students applying for the examination, the number of students who would be applying in 2025 by the time when I will start giving the examination would be like around 15 lakh or 16 lakh students. And that's like insane number of people, right? So if I actually have to start preparing for the examination, then I need to be like very serious for it. Now the second thing that I have to ask myself is this IIT and UPSC all a thing. People usually ask me, Tharun, you are graduating from an IIT, right? So don't you think this UPSC is entirely out of your field of expertise? I mean, before 4 or 5 years, even I used to think in a similar way, right? That Tharun, if you just want to like go prepare for UPSC later, why the fuck are you like even applying for IIT? Why are you like wasting your 2 or 3 years in preparation for IIT, right? You could just directly prepare for UPSC. But if you actually look at the results, exam results, UPSC ka exam results, you'll realize that most of the students, like around 60% of the students who crack civils, who crack UPSC preparation are engineers. And if you actually see the toppers, like 1 to 10 ranks, at least 4 to 6 people are from IIT. And why does this happen? Very simple. Engineers have this analytical abilities, right? And these actually help them in the examination too. And being in this very competitive environment, like when you're in IITs, this actually gives you an edge over other people. So I guess this path is aligned right now, like being in IITs and then preparing for UPSC, it shouldn't be a big problem. I mean, it should actually be a benefit. Now, before we move to the next point, which is about my parents and their backgrounds, some of you who watch me keep asking me this question, Tharun, how do I improve my English? How do you speak good English? How? Just how? Because English also gets important during the placement interviews or even the UPSC. So the solution, I need to tell you that it's all about practice. You need to start speaking English with real people, and eventually in a couple of months, you will observe that your English has improved a lot. And I know that practicing is not so easy because even if you want to, there might not be other people around you with whom you can practice. And that is where Cambly comes in. See, Cambly is the only platform which provides both private and group classes with native English speakers. And during the group classes, you can start practicing English with 2 more students like you around the world at whatever the time that you want. The classes are really affordable, and if you use my code, you'll get 60% off during the first month. I've given the link in the description. Check it out right now, and now let's get back to the video. Let's go. So now moving on to the third point, which is my parents and their backgrounds. See, one of the most important reasons why my parents want me to prepare for UPSC is because both of them work for the government. And in some cases, they work in very close groups with the IAS officers. My dad was in army, but my mom is a Mandal revenue officer. She works in the revenue department. And she gets to work a lot with the respective IAS officers of the district. So both of my parents want their son, like me, to be in a position which they admire, right? I mean, I'm very thankful that both of my parents don't force me to choose a particular career path, but I feel that they'd be obviously happy if I start preparing for UPSC. And then comes the fourth reason, one of the biggest reasons why our parents want us to prepare for UPSC examination, the job security. They feel that once you become an IAS officer, you're all set for the life. And in one way, it's kind of true, but there are also cases where IAS officers just resign after the job because of the work pressure or like so many other reasons. And sometimes so funnily, I've watched it somewhere, like Mr. Ashok Kemka. I'm not even sure if I pronounced the name right or wrong. I'm so sorry if I did not. But yeah, like people like him get transferred like 55 times in his 30-year career. I mean, all these exceptions are obviously there, but if you see it from a bigger perspective, the job security of a government job would obviously be much higher and it would be like much safer. And also my family was never into this business and all, so if I choose this online business path and all, I'd be the first person, and they'd obviously think that Tharun is playing a very risky game and all. So again, a negative mark here. And the fifth one and the most important point is the job responsibility and my personal interest. See, the person who becomes an IAS officer should mostly be like selfless, right? He should always be ready to give a helping hand. And you can't just fake it, because that becomes your job, that becomes your life, that becomes your lifestyle, right? But when you're in a business, that's not actually what you do. You don't actually need to be selfless. I mean, it's really good if you be selfless, like many people be selfless, many people give a helping hand to others, but you don't actually need to. That doesn't become one of your job roles, that becomes your choice, and there's a difference, right? But if you actually see it in another way, I can actually help a lot more people even if I continue with this online business wala thing, right? For example, see people like physics wala or something. Obviously, he would have helped more people, more number of students than a normal average IAS officer would ever do in his entire life. See, I'm not trying to create any controversies and all, but you get what I'm trying to say, right? So now, trying to sum it up, I'm just thinking out loud here. I think risking everything that I have, risking the YouTube channel that I was trying to build for last 2 years and leaving everything here and just going for UPSC preparation would be a very risky game. Because first thing, I'm not even sure if I just start preparing, I'll definitely crack it. Because sometimes it takes 2 years, sometimes it takes 3 years, sometimes it takes 8 years. And I'm thinking it would be very foolish, very stupid, very risky to leave everything and just go start preparing for UPSC at this point of time. And I'm not even sure if I'll actually do that or not. So that was what I was thinking till last week. But then this video which came in front of me when I was just scrolling on YouTube, changed my entire perspective towards UPSC preparation.
If we care for ourselves, if we have self-respect to the country, we must want the best to lead. Not because you entered on that day by sheer luck or the examiner was that day kind. That's not the way to govern the country. You need the best at any point of time. In India, we put them on a pedestal. It's a very silly approach. Have self-respect. The people matter. Our needs matter. Outcomes must be related to our needs. If somebody became an MLA or MP or PM or CM or somebody an IAS officer, it's irrelevant to us. How do I care? What have you done to make a difference to my life? That's all they ask. Not what position you acquired. Because we worship power, we are hurting ourselves.
And this point, that the UPSC preparation should not be a person's end goal, sticked out in my head. So now I've decided that I would be preparing for the civil services examination, but without leaving anything else, at least for the next 2 years. And I think that should be manageable. Like, I'm just 22 right now. This is the time when I should hustle. This is the time when I should work my ass off, right? So I will be starting the preparation, but if in case it gets too much, if in case I change my mind later, then I'll obviously have to take the decision again. Let's actually see how it goes. You can follow me on my Instagram to know more about me and my personal life, or if you just want a normal guidance kind of thing, you can just directly text me over there. And also, I did not reveal my placement package yet. I'll do it later. I think at this point I'm just playing around with you guys. And also this video is such a rant, man. Like, whatever it is, okay, I'll see you very soon. Here's one more video. You know this. Bye.